Hey, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to continue to learn about Lorne Armstrong and watch this documentary from I'm Sorta Kinda Bored, the first part of it at least. Oh damn, what's up, Lewis?
Louis Couture subscribed for more madness. Alien.
Thank you. I don't know why it popped up right now, but yeah, hell yeah. What's up, Dean? Alright, so I watched maybe a minute of this and realized what it was. It was like, okay, yeah, we're going to watch this for the first time on stream. So I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff, like a bunch of history and lore that I've never known before. What's up, Icy Bird? What's up, Farson? Cannabis NJ? Hell yeah. What's up, Mr. Sacco?
I can't sing.
No? Oh yeah, that's right. You're gonna play an instrument.
Yeah, why don't you sing for me?
What's up, Jonathan?
You're the one that can sing.
Let me see. What can I sing to you? Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Among the many terms and phrases scattered across the internet, one that is used frequently is the term lolcow. This describes someone who is being made fun of en masse for the actions they take, despite not trying to be funny. The most recent mainstream example of a lolcow you might be thinking of is Chris Chan.
There are people on the internet that have sort of created huge.
Oh, hell yeah, Mr. Guchos. Yeah, Lewis, I guess you're resubscribed or something, I don't know. What's up, Brandon? Yeah, the short form guy is really funny. What's up, Code Man? Alright, I had to make sure that chat behind me was gonna go right.
Huge hate communities around them, and they usually somewhat deserve it. I'm talking about guys like DSP, Wings of Redemption, obviously Chris Chan, people that have developed these massive, not just hate communities, but cultures surrounded around every mistake they've ever made on the internet.
I like to look into a lot of these internet sort of train wrecks from time to time. It's hard to look away, and anybody that makes internet-related content will tell you that they know all about Chris Chan. They've heard about it.
Yeah,
if
Aaron.
they haven't been this invested into it, they've at least heard of it.
Very few people, I would say, are actually fans of Chris Chan. They're more observers and, what would you say? Trolls and just people who are entertained by lolcows. I'm not sure what you would call someone who's just entertained by lolcows.
What's up,
They don't
Guru?
necessarily want to troll them, or they just
Hell
kind of
yeah,
want to
turtle
laugh at
shit.
them because they think it's weird and interesting how crazy they are.
Chris Chan is the absolute best example of a lolcow. This person has been duped into.
I don't know why we're talking about Chris Chan, though. Why is it starting off with Chris Chan? Let's go down here. We know who Chris Chan is. Where's the shit that lets you see? Show more. There we go. Okay, alright. Let's start it here. I don't care about listening about Chris Chan for the millionth time. What's up, Jello? Alright.
Our adventure starts on October 18th, 1970, in the sleepy town of Cambridge, Maine. Here we find the birth of a male child, who was given the name Lorne Armstrong.
Those broad shoes.
Lorne was born into a family as the youngest of 6, 4 brothers, 1 sister, and himself. As he was the
Hell
youngest
yeah,
child,
Sacco.
he always looked up to his siblings and held them up on a pedestal that they probably shouldn't have been on. He also recognized at a young age how much pain and trouble his mother had to go through just to raise him and his siblings.
What's up,
Gwendolyn
lolcow
Armstrong,
cooking?
commonly referred to as Mama Gwen, has been through divorces, has been cheated on, and had to raise her 6 kids to the best of her ability. Lorne praised his mother for how strong she's been and placed her above everything and everyone.
Yeah, calling my mother a bitch is one way to fucking make me not happy.
I'm sorry,
That's all.
baby.
For
I'm
you,
sorry.
for you to not have me.
Oh, come on.
You're talking about a fucking.
Raptor Bacon, is that the stupid name? Or just Lorne in general?
You were talking about a fucking 77-year-old woman that never did a fucking thing to you. I am tired of your bullshit about my mom. You don't fucking like my mom, then you don't like me. If you don't like that response, then you suck it up on your own.
Lorne would go on to have a troubling childhood, as his early life would be filled with key figures in his life, like his father,
freaking mother,
leaving him and his family while he was
Lord,
young.
yeah.
Despite
Hell
this,
yeah.
Lorne would describe his childhood as good, but also recognize that he has
Hell yeah, Jackaxe. It is still stuck in my head. Punch my face, I'm a big disgrace. Punch my face, punch my face. God damn. I will never, that'll be stuck in my head until I die, I feel like. Oh, hell yeah, lolcow. What's up, Beethoven? Yeah, the chick's voice is so bad.
problems with people leaving him, due to both his father's absence and his siblings heading off to college while he was young. He craved for more attention as a child, and was taught to always be honest, a trait that he would forget in his later years. Lorne also deeply cares about how people view him, which is something you'll witness for yourself later on. He grew up in Shawinigan, Maine for the majority of his young life, and other than what I've mentioned previously, he had a pretty straightforward life, attending school.
Why are they showing all this, like, country bumpkin shit if he's from Maine? They're showing, like, playing some, like, banjo picking and shit, and some, like, creeks running with, like, fall leaves on it, but he's from fucking Maine? What? That don't make no damn sense.
And trying to be the best little Lorne he could possibly be.
Goddamn sucker, right? Long silence.
On June 9th, 1989, Lorne barely graduated high school with a C average,
Hell yeah, Brandon.
ranking last out of all of his classmates, and decided to join the Air Force as a mechanic 2 years
They should be showing lobstering, exactly. Showing lobster and snow and shit.
later in April of 1991. During this time, while he was stationed in Anchorage, Alaska, Lorne was trained to be a truck.
Always. They always go to Alaska. They always have connections to Alaska. Why do weirdos always have connections to Alaska? It's like, oh, we can get away with stuff out here. Ha ha ha. There's not enough people to keep tabs on us out here. Yeah, lobsters and Stephen King. Yeah, hell yeah, Brandon. Hell yeah, cannabis. He's the veteran going after Marty. Oh my god. Speaking of, I made a stand-in emoji until I come up with a new one. Since we did get enough members now to have a new emoji, I just made a Marty emoji so we could, you know, have like one for like whenever Cyrex is doing bullshit and stuff. The chair force. Hell yeah, Bomb Squad. What's up, Harry? Peen ass one. I feel like it does, Lewis. Alaska definitely has the highest density of sickos and serial killers per capita.
Mechanic, and was also part of the decontamination team. He was in charge of a Mini-Mite basketball team, receiving an award for his voluntary action. He also broke his right arm and dislocated his wrist during service.
What's the Mini-Mite, though? Is that like... I don't... Children's. Okay, it's a coach for children's basketball. Mini-Mite. Creepy. That's not cool. Fucking weird. Why? He should never have had access to kids. What's up, Donna Shore? Oh, okay. I'll make sure that, I do as much as I can, but I won't make it be too long.
Also during this time in Alaska, Lorne met a girl named Paula. We know very little about Paula, but according to Lorne, they had sex once, and their relationship ended around a year once Lorne discovered that she was also having sex with other guys. Why am I telling you about some random hookup? Well, for two reasons. Reason number one is that this sets up some patterns you'll see later on.
Oh, hell yeah, Harry.
Reason number two is that Lorne talks about her pretty frequently and uses Paula as an example of how poorly he was treated in a relationship.
I've never given anybody else a ring.
That's not true.
No, that is true.
Dislocated his wrist.
No,
Code for draft dodging.
I thought about buying a ring for Paula, and I wound up talking to my friend Jim about it that I worked for. That he lived right next door, and he met Paula too, and he talked me out of it.
Why? Because she wasn't in love with you, Ellie?
She did love me.
How do you know?
But she told me I was straight when I told her that I had thought about buying her a ring.
Because she don't
Told
love
me
you.
I was straight. No, she told me I was straight
Hell
not
yeah,
to
Bob
do it
Squad.
because she actually would marry me.
Why would she tell you not to then? It's stupid.
Because she was a wild child and didn't want to be married.
Wild child.
She just
Ew.
wanted your cock.
Ew.
Yep. But she only got it once. She didn't get it ever again after that.
You were
She
gonna
wanted to, but
fucking marry her after you only boned her once?
Well, I only boned her once, but I already knew her for a year. I had spent a lot of time with her.
1 year and 7 months of service later, Lorne was discharged from the Air Force because he failed a trade course test and was told that he wasn't cut out for the military. The highest rank he earned was...
Oh, hell yeah. What is it? Does it still exist, Fosco? Church of Cod docuseries? I know it's harder to find stuff. Some stuff gets, like, gone nowadays because of how, like, sensitive YouTube is and everything. I'll definitely try to look for it.
Airman First Class, also known as E3, and because of not meeting the requirement, he did not qualify for any veteran benefits. After his departure from the military in 1993, Lorne headed to Washington State, living in both Washington State with his brother, his brother's wife.
My buddy got dishonorably discharged from the military in South Korea, because he was drinking too much. He was just like drinking and drinking cough medicine and shit, and just being way too fucked up, and he got dishonorably discharged. What's up, Cookie? What's up, Jonathan Rush? Oh, hell yeah, Fosco. Goddamn, Sako.
And his nieces, and living in Maine where he was originally.
Long silences.
Now that Lorne is fresh out of the military and constantly
Oh my God,
shifting
Jonathan.
between two places of residence,
What's up, left
it's
hand
about
black?
time he gets himself a job and some steady income. I'm going to quickly run through all of the jobs Lorne acquired between the years 1994 and 2005, and then we'll continue from there. From February 5th to May 17th of 1994, Lorne worked with Irving Tanning Company located in Heartland, Maine as a laborer. Lorne was rehired at Irving Tanning Company as a laborer from October 19th, 1998 to August 19th.
So when it says Irving Tanning Company, are they talking about literally like tanning like animal hides and shit? Because I know of like a place like that. They've got like an elephant skin and shit that they're processing and all that. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it's meaning, but like that's the only kind of tanning processing that I know of. It's like processing furs into leather and shit.
in 1999. After that, at some point, Lorne sold Kirby vacuums
I
in
know,
Washington
left hand.
with an unknown company
It's crazy.
for about 2 to 3 months. Lorne then quit this job because he was broke, and in 1999,
Right, Fusco?
he worked
What's
with
up,
Snyder
Brody?
National as an over-the-truck driver for 6 months. He then quit his job at Snyder National because he
it
did
is
not enjoy the life.
It is tanning, like animal hide tanning. So damn, that is like nasty and hard work.
Lifestyle. And from late 1999 to 2001, Lorne was employed by A Plus Septic Service, located in Lansing, Washington, where he drove the
Absolutely, Lewis. It is so gross. Yeah, it's not too far away from here. I used to go get like some bones sometimes from them because they would like throw stuff away, and I could just like give them like $20 and like get all the like bear skulls and like, you know, coyote skulls and shit that I wanted because they just wanted the furs. They were just processing the furs and shit. So I had like a cheap hookup for like crazy skulls for a little bit.
trucks, ran the pumps, and did repairs. After his job at
Hell
A
yeah,
Plus
Jonathan.
Septic Service, Lorne decided to move back to Maine permanently and open his own
What's up,
A1
Agent Alex?
septic service business in 2001.
Septic
From July
service.
24th, 2002 to August 22nd, 2002, Lorne was rehired
yes,
again at
Sacco.
Irving Tanning Company as a
Absolutely, that is gross too.
laborer, and on July 19th, 2005, Lorne was rehired at Irving Tanning Company for the fourth and final time. He would quit his job that same day, and the company stated that they would not consider re-employing him. Now that we know where Lorne was working between the years 1994 and 2005, it's time we talk about the other thing that took up a majority of his time. A person, actually. And her
Kirby
name
vacuum
was
salesman.
Amanda James.
It's like a Cutco. It's like just as bad as Cutco. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna sell these knives for fucking Cutco. Like some boss, you gotta like fight your way up with the knives all the way to the tippity top. That shit's so funny. Right, Lewis? He's like doing the nasty jobs, like the disgusting jobs. Yeah, it's a living.
In 2000, while working with A Plus Septic Service, Lorne started
He
to
likes
become
it
acquainted
gross.
with the internet,
Oh.
and soon found himself in a relationship with a person claiming to be a 28-year-old woman named Amanda James. Just like Paula, little is known about Amanda's personality, but her presence and impact on Lorne's life cannot be ignored. Lorne gave Amanda money and Dale Earnhardt Jr. memorabilia to make her happy and to display his affection towards her. Lorne then decided to move back to Maine in 2001 permanently.
There's that fucking Dale Earnhardt memorabilia that he was like talking about to the cops or something in that interrogation. He's like, oh, it's happened before, sent her a bunch of Dale Earnhardt memorabilia. Yeah, serial killer jobs, absolutely, Birdie. Yeah, the scapegoat. Right, lolcow cooking? Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, like, one of my buddies got a job for him for, like, a little bit. Like, when we were in high school or something, I feel like. And it's just always been such, like, a funny, like, goddamn pyramid scheme. I thought it was something like Vector Man, you know? Like, like the boss in, last boss in a Vector Man game, Cutco. He's got, like, knives for hands or some shit. Or maybe that's what it was. It was called Vector or some shit. There's a Vector Man joke in it somewhere, and that's the only reason I remember it. I think that was like the company that owned them were called Vector or some shit.
To be closer to her, as she lived in Pennsylvania. That, by the way, is probably the reason why Lorne quit the A Plus Septic Service job. Since he permanently moved back to Maine, he can't possibly maintain his job in Washington, and just decides to open his own septic business. After returning to Maine, where a large part of Lorne's family lives, he met up with his sister, told her about his relationship with Amanda James, and about the niece that Amanda had custody over. Naturally, Lorne's sister would want to talk to Amanda James,
Ugh.
so Lorne's sister...
So, like, was he after her or that niece, right? I have custody of a niece, and then he's like, ooh! Well, he's a fucking sicko.
Sister and Amanda James had a very brief 2-minute conversation. Somehow, Lorne's sister found out
What's
that
up, Prince
Amanda
Roy?
was a catfish and had been lying to Lorne the
Hell yeah, Harry.
entire time. Her real name was apparently Leslie, and her niece was actually her daughter.
Bothers me. And to tell you why it bothers me is because of fucking Amanda James. Her real name is Leslie, lives in Pennsylvania. If I look at the fucking map, I can even tell you what town she lives in, because I'll remember. And just as soon as I see the fucking town's name, I will fucking remember. She told me her fucking
Cookie.
daughter was her niece.
That's what I think the joke came from. Vector marketing or something. I just remember, like, we made a joke about it being like a Vector Man boss. Like, Cutco, he's like the last boss on a Vector Man game. He's got, like, knives for hands or something. I can't believe I remember that shit, but, like, that stuck with me for some reason.
Told me she had custody of her niece because her fucking mother was a fucking drug addict, and her sister-in-law died of breast cancer, and she had custody of her niece. For 2 fucking years. 2 fucking years.
6 years.
I never went on a goddamn date because of that bitch.
This, of course, hit Lorne pretty hard since their relationship was 2 years long. In that time span, he completely stopped dating and dedicated his attention solely to Amanda James, a girl he had never met and had strictly been talking to online. Despite knowing that she had lied to him, Lorne continued to talk to Amanda for 6 months after they broke up, with conversations coming to a halt by the middle of 2002. This situation will affect Lorne for the remainder of his life, and something he won't forget, as it's the second example, after Paula, of how he was treated poorly.
I was up in Washington State. That's when I started going on the internet.
When you lived in Washington State, you started going on the internet, and what happened?
Catfished back to back.
She said her name was Amanda James, and
oh my god,
she told me that.
Hell yeah, Jonathan.
And she was watching her niece. Well, she actually had custody of her niece.
And then?
3 years later, I moved back to Maine just to be close to her because she lived in Pennsylvania. And I didn't date anyone. I didn't see anyone because of her.
All right. So what happened?
I got back to Maine and I was talking to her on the phone. And
I don't think I ever played that lolcow.
My sister wanted to say hi to her, and my sister had been on the internet for a couple of years, and she was able to read people pretty good.
And what happened?
And she got on the phone with her, and she, after she got off the phone, she was only on the phone with her for about 2 minutes, and she got off the phone with her and told me that...
My computer doesn't like Lauren. Like, I downloaded this video too beforehand to make it like play better, but whenever we watch Lauren, my computer just wants to like bog down real hard. Damn. Let's see if it like picks back up just a little bit here.
Told me that she wasn't real.
She wasn't real.
She told me she was lying to me, and she'd been lying to me all along.
Did you ever meet this woman? Did you send her money?
I sent her money. I sent her all kinds of Dale Earnhardt things.
Dale Earnhardt things.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. things. She was Dale.
The race car driver.
Yeah.
God damn. See if it picks back up. It's just Lauren that it hates, apparently. What the hell? Alright. Yeah, it sits as evil, absolutely, Birdie. What's up, Greedo the Green?
When coming across your typical lolcow, you might first think that the mockery and public humiliation they receive is unwarranted. However, upon further inspection, the typical lolcow usually has done things, either currently or in their past, that would be considered cruel or unjust. Some of these things might be as simple as lying or stealing, but other times, the lolcow would do horrendous things that you'd find hard to
Lewis,
stomach,
definitely
making
not.
the lolcow not only a terrible person, but a person who you won't find sympathy for, even when they are the butt end of a joke. This is no different for Lorne. I like to call this part of the story why
Mascots.
people don't like
Why
Lorne
do-
Armstrong.
why do
Where in
people
these
dress
three
up like
separate events
mascots?
between the years 2004 and 2007, Lorne shows how malicious he can truly be, and where people lose sympathy for the lolcow. In 2004, Lorne decided to browse country music chat rooms, something he would begin to do more often after he became more familiar with the internet.
Country music
There
chat
he would
rooms.
find and start talking to two underage girls,
Oh my
who
God.
shall be referred to as MySpace Girl number 1 and MySpace Girl number 2. Let's begin with MySpace Girl number 2, who started talking to Lorne when she was 16 years old. As they began talking, Lorne claimed that he had slight romantic feelings for this girl, but never proceeded to go anywhere with them.
Yeah.
She was in Maine.
She was in Maine?
Her too. Yeah, she had a lot of problems
And how did you meet her?
on the internet. She was in a jail room. In the country, she was in the country music room or a main room or something.
Hell yeah, lolcow. MySpace was fun. You could like code in shit and put in like a top
She was
8,
feeling really
make
down
people
about
mad.
herself when I met her.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wanted her. And she kept saying she was ugly and all that. She showed me a picture of her, and I told her that I said, "You're not ugly." I said, "You're a beautiful girl." I said, "And there's some boy there at school that likes you. They're just probably too shy to say it."
Mm-hmm.
I remember I said that to her, and we just became friends from there. There was never really that much sexual stuff between me and
That much.
Well, you can ask
He
me, I know
said
what you can
that
ask me.
much.
Why not?
I don't know, because we were just friends.
Yeah, but you were saying that you were feeling romantic toward her.
Yeah.
God damn.
I wasn't the same
Hell
person
yeah, G-Ferg.
back then either.
That is until 3 years later when MySpace Girl number 2 came over to Lorne's trailer one random.
God damn. I don't know who he is. Yeah, I'm just saying like mascots. Like furries in general like to dress up like mascots. Why they dress up like fucking mascots. I don't know who that guy is. But if it is who I think it is, I've heard just like some rumors and like saw little bits and like headlines and watched like a couple of minutes of things before. So goddamn. Just another terrible human being.
Day, she and a friend just sat around with a drunk Lorne and his drunk friend until they left, and after that they slowly stopped talking.
Yeah,
and
Jonathan,
then,
exactly
did you ever
that
meet
much.
her?
I did.
Oh, 407-page
Her-
chat
her
log.
and a friend came over to meet me when I was there. It was actually
Came over to
her age,
your...
over my house.
They went to your
Yeah.
house,
Yeah, but I think she was like 19 at the time that she came over.
so you talked to her for 2 years?
I think I actually talked to her for 3 years, I think.
Okay, so when she came over to your house, what happened
Long-term
then?
grooming.
Nothing. Her and her friend sat in the chair.
If mascot designers can make bake, I'm sure
talked
they
to them
are.
for a little bit, then they left.
I'm sure they can. There's a lot of sickos.
Around her age.
Was around whose age?
I think it was around. Actually, I think it was a year older than them. I think.
When she ended up coming over to your house,
Yeah.
what happened there?
I was drunk. We were drunk. She had a pregnant girlfriend with her, and we just talked.
Didn't you get drunk too?
No.
Oh, she didn't.
It
The
was
two
actually
boys
2
were
years
drunk,
older.
and that was it.
Yeah. Actually, 2 years
AOL
older.
instant message aim.
It was
Hell yeah,
21.
G-Ferg.
She was 19 when her and her girlfriend came over.
Okay, so you talked to each other for 3 years before she came over?
Yeah.
Why do you think it took that long?
Why?
What's up, John?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just did. Just never really planned it.
So what
She
made
had-
you want her
she
to
had-
come over that night?
I didn't even know that she was coming over that night.
How did that happen then?
Her and her friend showed up.
Oh, you had given
Oh,
her
hell yeah, AJ.
your address?
My buddy
Yeah.
Charlie. Every time anyone says that, I'm just gonna assume it's my buddy Charlie. He's the one I said who got dishonorably discharged. He died last year from fentanyl. So he didn't learn anything about from getting dishonorably discharged from the military.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told her if she ever wanted to come over, then she could.
Hell yeah, Lewis.
I gave her my address,
Okay.
and knowing, I guess she wrote it down.
And she just showed up one day, but you guys were still.
John's, I never really actually got info from the forums in and of itself. I just watch YouTube. I just find stuff on YouTube. I went to the Wikipedia a couple of times to look stuff up, but I never actually went onto Kiwi forums to look stuff up. I just rely on YouTube. Hey, YouTube like blessed me with Madman, Wild Man, Macho Man yesterday.
Talking at that point.
Yeah, we were still talking. Long after that,
Hell yeah, Jonathan.
She moved out to Wisconsin or Montana, somewhere out there.
And then what were you feeling when she came over? I mean, did you want to kiss her or something? Like, you had already had these...
Oh, gross.
I gave her a hug. She gave me a hug. I even gave her a friend a hug.
Okay.
But I felt awkward because I didn't know if she was going to show up, and me and we were drunk.
This, of course, is a very alarming story, but it only gets worse for MySpace girl number 1. MySpace girl number 1 was only 15 years old when she started talking to Lorne in 2004.
What the fuck?
After talking for a brief amount of time, they had started dating.
Lorne, you were friends with the little girl on MySpace?
No. Well, she was 15 when I met her.
God damn.
19 last time I talked to her. This is when I got.
Oh damn, lolcow. Uh-oh.
Before that.
Don't let him get Caliber.
How did you become friends with her?
He just wants to like get
met her
pets
on,
and roll around.
Country music chat room. She was from Maine. So they had country music chat rooms for every state. You go to different states.
Country music chat rooms for every state.
Me and going to try to be boyfriend and girlfriend. But with the way she acted, she was just too young at the time, and we both talked about it.
What the fuck?
And decided not to.
She was too young. Nothing about him being too old to be talking to people like this shit.
Well, but you said that you were going to try to be boyfriend and girlfriend with her. Did you already tell her that you loved her and all that stuff?
No, not right off the bat.
Well, no, not right off the bat, but while you were still talking to her, because you were already about 32.
Yeah.
And she was 15. So I'm wondering if the conversation was pretty much the same as what was happening here.
No, with me, it was completely different. She talked to me about her boyfriend and her family and problems in the family. I was the one that she would talk to about all of her problems. And
right. So there was more conversation there. Obviously, you know, Kayla
That's all he was doing.
there just to be
It's
like
so
a shell
dark.
of a teenage girl. And was a real girl. So she's going to have more going on in her life.
Yeah.
Goddamn,
I'm just
right,
curious
Jonathan?
how the boyfriend and girlfriend situation came up between the two of you.
What the fuck? Boyfriend and girlfriend situation.
How did that start?
This predatory.
I know you're saying
they
that
call it what it is. Fucking predatory, like, relationship.
you were in a country music chat room. So how did it start that you guys were going to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, we started talking.
Yeah, it's just grooming. That's
it
all
wasn't
it
the
is.
First night. I don't remember exactly when, but I sang and she liked my singing and she liked.
God damn, AJ.
Asked her to take it up like Kenny Chesney.
He never meant to do it.
And
Kenny Chesney.
I used to sing songs that she liked.
Oh my
God. Because she liked Kenny Chesney.
This relationship lasted for about 4 months, right until it reached a climax. MySpace girl number 1 and Lorne planned to meet each other near the end of the first year they've been talking for. Well, not actually meet. According to Lorne, there was a state fair going on near MySpace girl number 1's hometown, so they planned on both going to the fair just to see each other. Not talk, but just look at each other to verify that they were both talking to real people.
You tried to see each other one other time when we in the first year that we met.
He's fucking sick,
Mr.
Bones.
End of the first year that we met. Tried to see each other, but I went up to see her, but I brought somebody with me. I brought somebody with me because we were just going to see each other. We weren't even going to talk to each other. We weren't even going to touch each other or nothing. We're just going to see each other because we were.
Okay, so is this true, or did he hear about? She was like, "I'm gonna go to the fair. I'm going to the fair today," and he like stalked her and went there without her prior knowledge to see her. That's why he's all like, "We weren't gonna meet up or anything. We were just gonna see each other." Like, did he just like happenstance like, "Oh, you're going to the fair? Okay," and then like go there to try to stalk on her?
We both wanted to know that we both existed. That doesn't matter either.
That's even.
He drove 5 hours to do that? Holy fucking shit, he definitely was like stalking her, creeping on her and shit. Oh my god.
Creepier, Lauren. You went to stalk her? You didn't even want to let her know you were
No.
watching her?
That's stalking, yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
It was a mutual thing. She wanted to see me too.
So what did you do? Just like drive by and wave or something?
God damn.
Some fair going on or something like that. We weren't even going to meet. We just wanted to see each other.
What's the point? You guys were just going to spend all that gas money to wave after you had been very close and in a relationship that you said you felt committed? Lauren, can you please help me make sense of that? I just don't get it. You're not that desperate.
Him and Tony went to see her?
At the time, we cared about each other.
God
we
damn.
wanted to see that the other one was real.
Tony the
She
Black
had
Dragon?
concerns that
Oh my god,
you weren't
this is
real?
gross.
She had concerns at the same time.
He was the clown trainer? God damn.
My concern was because of what happened with Amanda James.
Didn't you see her on cam? What did you think you were looking at then?
We saw each other on cam, but I don't know. I guess we both just wanted to feel better about knowing the other one.
So Lauren took his
Oh,
pal Tony
goddamn,
with
Harry,
him as
so
a witness,
gross.
and they drove 3.5 hours to the fair.
So whose idea was it to do this?
I'm not lying to you at all about this.
Who was the one who was nervous?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember if it was my idea or if it was hers. And I brought somebody with me to make sure
Birdie.
that I was
Exactly, he was ready to like stuff her in the fucking van. That's what it sounds like to me. Fucking creepy.
safe.
What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't think anything was going to. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just brought somebody with me for my own security.
So you wanted to make sure that if you had someone with you and you go to a fair,
He wanted someone with him to prevent him from doing that. And he was like, "Oh, you better go with me, because if the person, Tony, hadn't went with him, his like evil intentions and dark side would have overpowered him and he would have kidnapped her."
that's like a public place. There's a lot of people around. There's a chance
Hell
that you
yeah,
could have just
Jonathan.
been going there. It just so happened that you were both there at the same time, but it wasn't to see each other. In case
Hell yeah, Mr.
it ended
Bones.
up like a situation like To Catch a Predator.
No, in case it wound up where somebody said something about me being somewhere, I had a witness that I was right there with that person.
Once there, MySpace girl number 1 admits to Lauren that she got the event date wrong, so Lauren and Tony showed up a day before the fair was planned to take place. Lauren couldn't stay another day because he had to work the next day, so they never actually met.
Oh,
So then after you saw what happened,
I didn't see her.
oh, she wasn't there?
No, she said the fair was supposed to be one day, but she got that day wrong.
That's
She
so
asked me-
funny.
asked me if I could.
There wasn't. She was faking him. She was faking Lauren out real hard. She was never going to be at the fair to begin with. Oh my god. Oh no, absurd. Really? Oh, Lord brought his brother to help stuff her in the van. God damn, Air. Hell yeah, Peter. Tony. Oh god, yeah. Lolcow.
Stay another day, and I said no. I said I gotta work.
Yeah, he was
But
gonna
never
kidnap
did see
her, without a doubt.
Tony, however, did talk to MySpace girl number 1 on the phone at some point during this trip. After their conversation, Tony told Lauren that she sounds like a very nice girl, but they probably shouldn't be dating each other.
3.5 hours away from me. She lived in, so that's where I drove from. Was from Cambridge.
Okay.
Tony was the one that went with me. Tony thought that I should be waiting to talk to her.
Oh, hell yeah,
until she was
Jonathan.
18, but after he talked to her a little bit, he didn't talk to her very much, but
Hell yeah, absurd.
and he said that that she seems like a nice person to be friends with. But he did say that he thought that I still
Hell yeah,
should wait till
AJ.
she's 18 to talk to her, or to meet her.
Okay.
Not to talk to her, but to meet her.
But were they aware of how old he was at the time?
Yes.
Okay.
And they told me also that I need to leave her alone for 3 years.
Okay.
But then this
Leave
person
her
wound up
alone?
talking to Molly too.
What the fuck? Leave her alone for 3 years? That's disgusting. No, leave him alone forever. Forever!
Yeah, good person for you to be friends with. Even though she's underage, she'd be a good person to be friends with because she sounded like she was honest, and she was. She was very, very honest and very, very sincere.
So he became friends with Molly too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of.
Was he a chatter too, just like you were?
No.
After their attempted meetup, and after receiving some advice from Tony, Lorne and MySpace girl number 1 talked about their relationship and decided to wait until she was of age and out of high school to try it again.
Fucking
They
of
continued to
age.
speak to each other for 3 years, all the
Out
way
of
up
high
to
school. What the fuck, man? If you're like talking to someone who's underage, then you cannot continue. No, like you should never talk to anyone who's underage, fucking ever, Lauren. But that's just like fucking groomer shit. Like, ooh, I'm gonna like groom them until they are of age. It's still the same fucking shit and gross.
2007. Lorne was now in Nashville for a reason you'll figure out in a moment. And MySpace girl number 1 planned on going to Nashville to meet Lorne after she graduated. Fortunately, these plans never happened. Communication between MySpace girl number 1 and Lorne started to slow down drastically in early September of 2007, and communication would completely stop on October 18th, 2007.
16 started getting a little better when she was 17. Then 18, she was, once she graduated, after she graduated, she was going to come down to Nashville.
Okay. So when
What's up,
you were
Frost
talking
Math?
to Kayla, you were
Hell
talking
yeah,
to
George
her
Lucas.
at the same
Fucking
time?
gross.
So when I was talking, I was talking some. I wasn't talking to her very much, though.
But there was still a plan for her to come down and be with you.
No, not be with me, to visit with me.
Okay.
But as far as being, there was no plans for us to be boyfriend and girlfriend. She was gonna come down and
Goddamn.
visit me.
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Whatever happened,
His
happened.
fucking words.
What changed the boyfriend and girlfriend thing?
And just over time, things change, and we have to know each other better in a better way.
Absolutely faded
It was hard to
unicorn.
know what was going to happen.
That's what I'm picturing too.
There's non-recording, so I'm going to tell you this one thing. Me had strong feelings for each other.
What does that mean?
Meaning, she was 18 when this was wrong, but when I was down in Nashville, she was going to come down to Nashville to see me, and we were going to try something then.
To be clear here, these are real victims of Lorne Armstrong. Lorne has claimed to not only have romantic feelings for these girls, but also has revealed himself and talked sexually to them on multiple occasions.
Okay. Did you feel like she was your girlfriend at some point?
No.
Okay. So then what was the
Yeah,
sexual
G-Fern.
stuff?
What's up?
What was the sexual
Cenoplast.
stuff? You said there wasn't a lot of sexual stuff.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, Sloth Cat.
We just
That's
talked
what's up.
sexually a little bit. And I showed myself to her a time or two.
When you were naked.
Ew.
Okay.
But
Is that
was,
while you guys were talking about sexual stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is where we see Lorne's true colors as a very dangerous individual, but of course, it doesn't end there.
Young Frostmeth. High school girls.
It's late 2006. This year would be very eventful for a certain married couple. Betty and her husband Eric decided to move from Rhode Island and come to Maine to live a quiet, peaceful country life.
Hell yeah, Mr. Bones. What's up, Tony Tokyo? Hell yeah, hope you're doing well too.
Almost immediately after moving to Maine, the couple made the decision to renovate their house. To be more precise, they had moved their mobile home to a large inhabited piece of land in Maine and planned on building a house around said mobile home. Of course, with such a large task, you need people to help build and facilitate the construction. This is where Betty and Eric enter a sort of construction hell, where people would order items for the job and others would work on certain portions of the home, but nothing would really get done.
So that brings us to y'all deciding that you wanted to make it to Maine, and that was 2006. And of course, we know from the Book of Durango that that's comes up right to the time.
Hell yeah,
that you met
Tortron.
Lorne. So
What's up,
it
young
would have
god
been,
OG?
It was right when y'all got there, wasn't it? That you
Yeah, it wasn't too long afterwards.
Afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, some of our listeners, of course, will be familiar with it already, since we've details in the
Frost
book.
Meth, I bet they were just scared.
If you will,
they were
why
just
don't you
like
tell
too
us
scared, I guess,
how you had
to do
occasion to
anything.
hire him, what originally brought him onto the scene.
Okay. Well, first of all, we did have some other people we had planned to work here on this property. But it wasn't.
What's up, TT?
And that man had ordered the lumber and the roof trusses, which we'll get into later. And,
oh, hell yeah, TT.
So there was material here, but the fellow that was to do the work is kind of dragging his feet. He had other things. He had other irons in the fire. He was doing other stuff. He was the fellow who actually moved the mobile home up to this site.
Oh, okay.
From Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in he also was doing that business, and see, he didn't have the time, and we were getting into very cold.
I've lost track of what's going on. Who is this? Is this his mom?
As they waited for one guy in particular to clear up his schedule, Betty and Eric needed assistance with hooking up a washing machine.
Oh, it's the woman he
so
robbed?
They took to the Yellow Pages
Oh my
to
God.
find someone to help them out. After looking for a short while, she stumbled upon a business named A1 Septic Service and Construction. Very generic of a name if you ask me, but they only need a washing machine hooked up, so it shouldn't matter much. This business was also local, which was helpful and probably influenced their decision. Unfortunately for the couple, the business with the title A1 Septic Service and Construction is actually owned and ran by Lorne Armstrong.
God damn. A1.
It was, I don't
Like
remember
the steak
exact
sauce.
date off the top of my head right now, but
Did it pick back up?
we started to get some stuff that we had one person come in at least and close the skirting so that we wouldn't have the pipes freezing.
Oh, damn, Frost Meth.
And he did that, and that was fine, but that was not Lorne.
Right.
That was from up the road here.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Dylan CD, Mint Mobile, Boost Mobile. Where you at, dog? You remember those fucking commercials?
Our washer and our dryer finally. We didn't have one when we were living in a trailer in Rhode Island because we were on a lake. You know, I lived there for 20 years. I had to go to a laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
This was so when we ordered one of those LG setups.
LGBTQI
It was
setups.
just the two of us, but because it was so
God damn,
I had to
LG.
use the washing machine in my own home. It's this great big thing.
Yeah.
Now, that's where we looked in the Yellow Pages, and we were looking for someone to hook.
Oh yeah, the rapist,
washer.
absolutely.
And the
Album cover.
A1
Oh, that took me forever, Frostbath, to read that. Album cover, okay.
77 number, just like ours. So said, well, that's because the guy is local. So
God
we called
damn.
that number, and that was Lorne.
So Lorne came down to hook up the washing machine for the
Hell
two
yeah,
cowboys
Jonathan.
and ended up striking a conversation with the both of them. Betty had expressed how it's been a hassle to
Those were full commercials. That Aqua Teen episode, those were full-ass commercials back when, that was popular. Where you at, dog? Get your Boost Mobile now. Where you at, dog? Oh, my God.
trying to get someone to renovate their house, and Lorne tells them that he has built a house before, and that he does really good construction.
He was supposed to come and set up the washing machine.
Okay.
in the process of talking to him, because he was...
I guess if it's only got a rating of A1, then you put the sauce on it, Bomb.
Easily.
Yeah.
Was seemed to be a likable enough person.
He was quite a prolific chatter, you might say.
Prolific chatter. I almost said that, and I said, no, I'm not going to say that. But yes, he was a prolific chatter.
Oh, yeah.
And he told Eric and me that, wow, well, that's what I used to do. We were trying to get this house built, but it's not happening. Oh, well, I did that. That was my job. I was a construction worker. I do this on the side, blah, blah, blah. And so he said, too bad. And he said, too bad I didn't know before you hired this other guy.
Get to the point. I'm sorry, Betty.
So Eric and I talked about it, and we said, well, let's
I
find
figured
out
it out. Like, come on, get to it. Just talk about him.
if the first guy was going to be available, when he was going to be available. And he
It becomes
admitted,
A2.
He admitted that he had too much going on. He just couldn't do it. And he agreed to just forget about it, and we hired Lorne.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
After some more conversation, Lorne gets hired to work on Betty and Eric's property. Things were strange for Betty after that, as when she told other people that Lorne Armstrong was working on her property, she didn't get the best reception.
Oh!
And because
Lorne Armstrong?
And he was not, townspeople didn't really want to say too much. I understand that.
That guy's a
Not that
sicko.
they say something about their own people.
Yeah.
But on a couple of occasions,
Hell yeah, Lewis. They were trying to do it cheap. That's what it is. They're like, oh, you can do it for only this much money? Hell yeah. Obviously.
So first he rolled his eyes. That was a giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind
Says she rambles a bit. Yeah.
which was another giveaway. And then he said, I said to him, what? Nothing. No, really, what? What? Is there something we should know?
Yeah.
He said, well, just watch him.
Soon enough, though, Lorne and his crew, which consisted of himself, his brother Paul, and his friend Tony, started working on the house. Once they began, it was downhill
what the
from
fuck?
there.
Playing their
The
piano.
next time he came back, he had those other two guys with him.
Now, neither one was a brother,
Oh,
to your knowledge, is there?
One of them is a brother.
Okay, so one of them was a brother. Okay, and one of them was some other guy.
I'll tell you their
A
names.
screen turned off for a second, but it didn't turn off
One of them
down
was
here, at least.
Paul
Okay.
Armstrong, and the other fellow
Yes,
was
Tindies, it is.
Tony.
Absolutely.
Palmer.
Yeah.
They're cutting the board. They're cutting the lumber.
Okay.
One guy is cutting lumber. The other two are watching him smoking a cigarette. There's
Nice.
nothing else for them to do while he cuts that one board.
Unbelievable. Not unbelievable. Totally
Oh,
believable.
my
It sounds
God.
like you're basically dealing with three Lornes.
And that's when I called that lumber company, and the guy told me it was going to rain in my house. Do you remember me telling that?
Yeah, you can tell it again if you got the time, because I know people would be interested in hearing
Yeah,
it.
posting job site photos on my MySpace.
I can't tell you what it was that he ordered,
Mm-hmm.
but I had the list in front of me, and I read it to the man at the lumber store, at the building store, and he said to me, what are you doing with this stuff?
Yeah.
We're putting an addition on our home, our mobile home, and this is for the addition. This is for the roof. He said, lady, it's gonna rain in your house. He said, you need, I can't think of it, it's a certain type of insulation that's called water and ice, which he didn't order. He ordered just a regular type of insulation, I guess. And the man, the way he explained it to me is, what you're ordering is going to absorb moisture, and it's going to continue to absorb moisture. And it will keep absorbing like a sponge until it breaks free from where it's nailed, and it's going to crash through your ceiling. I went outside. I said, guys, have you ever...
I'm sorry, I gotta like go through
prepayment
it.
of $30,000 was given to. The job cost $60,000, and a prepayment of $30,000 was given to Lorne. Lorne then requested another $10,000, and Betty refused, as he wasn't able to explain what he did with the first $30,000.
What did they give him the money for? Because
What the hell?
he wanted it was
American cardboard houses? Hell yeah, Tortron.
That's business.
Right.
That does happen.
Trailers are pretty cool. Trailers can be good. They can be fun sometimes. You know, especially if it looks like it's the 70s. Like, you know, with all those browns, and the couches has, like, Revolutionary War bicentennial designs on it. And, like, there's a owl lamp, like, made out of ceramic in the corner. Hell yeah, a shag carpet. Yeah, hell yeah, they can be real nice.
Right.
That's not unusual.
Right.
So he got it.
Yeah, Tortron.
But then he wanted another $10,000. And I said, no. What did you do with the money that we already had? Well, I paid my workers, but they didn't do anything. He says, well, I trust them. And I said, well, I don't. I don't even know them.
The stress of renovating their house soon reached Eric, as he had a stroke and soon after a heart attack. Eric had to spend lots of time in the hospital,
couches,
as well as attend speech therapy. Betty started to become overwhelmed, as she had to deal with both her husband's health and the poor work being done by Lorne and his crew, since Lorne barely did any of the work he was supposed to do.
You've got this this situation now, and you've confronted him, and all of a sudden these guys stop showing up. I'm guessing your first response is to try to call the guy up and ask him, hey, where are you? Now, this was when you said Eric had his heart attack.
Hell yeah. Mildew. I don't know if it's actually mold, it's like mildew. Those like fake wood laminates. And it's like every couple of spaces you got like the black stripe going down. And you can just like stare at the wood patterns and hallucinate because you're like a little kid. And your parents are like arguing in the other room. So you just like stare at the walls and hallucinate in the patterns on the grain. Hell yeah. Those are the cool kind of trailers.
Attack. So of course everything goes on hold at that point, am I right?
Pretty much. I spent most of the time in the beginning. I stayed at the hospital.
Yeah.
They released him. 11 days later, he had a stroke.
Oh my goodness.
At that point, they couldn't do anything at the Mayo Hospital here. It's not like the Mayo Clinic.
Goddamn, Dennis, pretty much, right?
It's called the Mayo Hospital in Dover, Foxcroft. They couldn't do anything.
What's up, Dirk Diggler? I don't see your message, but I see the bot's response to you. Can I see it up in this part?
Hospital first, where they put in a defibrillator and pacemaker. But throughout, in and out of the hospital, most of 2007.
Jesus.
So at that point, you know.
Oh hell yeah! Dumber than chance, yeah, Deke.
Overnight, and then I come home and I feed my animals and so on and so forth. It was tough. It was tough.
What's up, Richard Roberts?
I really didn't.
God bless you.
Betty wouldn't have to worry about Lorne any longer, though, since he bolted from the job and never returned. His last day of work on the house was January 4th, 2007, and after the terrible job, Betty tried to contact Lorne through the DA to get her money back. Lorne felt ashamed for basically stealing all of Betty's money and promised that he would pay her back. On several occasions, he would even call up Betty, crying about how he's going to pay it all back. But of course, the money was never paid back in full.
Why didn't they just buy like another trailer?
No, I did. It wasn't like we didn't try.
Why didn't they just buy like another trailer and just stick them together and like cut off part of that trailer and attach it to the other trailer? Then all you gotta do is like break out a wall and just put some fucking like shit that's not gonna leak. Weld it, stick it together. I don't even know if you fucking weld that shit. Just stick them together. Just cut another trailer and put it together with that trailer. Don't try to build shit onto it. That would have saved him a lot of fucking money, probably.
He went to the DA's office. The DA contacted. They have a mediator.
Hell yeah, Mr. Bones. He is worse in some ways than a lot of people because he's a diddler.
He told Mr. McKinnon that he definitely would pay us back. We agreed to take only $20,000. Pay it back. We were giving him a break because he didn't have no way did he do $20,000 worth of work.
Yeah.
And he said he would, and of course he did not.
After about 5 months of constant hounding from Betty about the job, Lorne skipped town and moved from Maine to Nashville.
Hell yeah,
Lorne will have you believe that the reason he put his septic company on hold, sold his house for $8,000 even though he had $50,000 in it, and lost his truck to a mechanic was because he wasn't in the right frame of mind, or because he wanted to pursue a country music career. But
absolutely, diddlers are the fucking worst. That's like the worst quality any of these fucking weirdos have. That's the worst goddamn quality. And he's acting on his shit too. You know, like Cyrex at least isn't going out trying to meet people. It's bad enough that he tries to fucking talk to them online, but Lauren's worse. He's literally like pursuing them, stalking them and shit.
Truthfully, he just wanted to run away from the massive problem he created. I'm not kidding about that either. Lorne says that he relocated to Nashville to better his singing career. That seems kinda like a lie considering Betty and the large amount of money he has to pay back. In that same report, it says that Lorne had to put his company on hold, probably because he wasn't in Maine to actually run it.
Hell yeah,
in Lorne's
lolcow.
prison journal, he states that he sold his house for $8,000, even though he had $50,000 in it. When it comes to the truck he lost to a mechanic, the story goes that Lorne had to repair said truck and fix its damage, so he took it to a mechanic. The mechanic finished the job, but he knew who Lorne was. He demanded his payment, and
one. But yeah, you can't like forget if he like tries to better himself and shit more and like proves to people, you still can't like forgive and forget that kind of like pedo shit.
Lorne said that he doesn't have the money, but he can give his stuff away like a TV to pay for it. The mechanic didn't fall for his trick and kept the vehicle. I also feel like it's important to mention another scam involving Lorne and a college professor. I'll let Betty explain this one.
Oh hell yeah, Harry. That would be awesome.
One of the colleges that worked at one of the colleges for about $20,000.
Lorne did, yeah. Can you tell us about that?
I said something to him about I was told to watch you, and now I understand why. And he screamed out a name. I know who it was. It was this woman, and he named this woman's name, whom I had never heard of before.
Okay.
She was the one that knew the professor.
Okay.
And he assumed that she told me that he stiffed this guy too.
Oh hell yeah, Deke.
He never did. I never.
What's
knew
up,
she
dark
was.
side, Betty?
So when he said his
Becky.
name,
Get my tongue tied. Seeing that name saying Betty right there, tried to say Becky.
And I asked her, why does Lorne think you?
Thanks for hanging out.
Stuff about?
Your new
And she said,
Cyrex wearing the hat and stuff. So funny.
He did this work on the man's house and so on, what I just told you. So now I know. But she said that he was a different kind of guy. She didn't say.
Yeah, because of the mac and cheese, apparently.
Different kind of guy.
Okay. But the vibe you got from her, I'm guessing, is she wasn't paying him a compliment and saying that. Am I right?
No.
Yeah.
Betty was persistent though, and continued to try to find Lorne and make him pay. After October 18th, 2007 though, no one would hear from Lorne for a very long time. This is a very troubling story, almost as troubling as the one before it. Lorne scammed an innocent couple out of $30,000 and just skipped town without paying for any of it.
They're
This
matching
isn't the last
shirts.
time
Holy
he just
shit.
skipped town.
They're fucking matching shirts. What is she? Is she playing a bass? Or she just played a normal ass guitar? I think it's just a bass, yeah? I can't tell. What are they singing? Cheeseburger in Paradise? Are they a fucking, like, Jimmy Buffett tribute band?
Without paying for any of it. This isn't the last time we'll hear from Betty, and this story does continue. For now, though, we're going to have to move on to our final story.
Can you tell us about that phone call, about that message he left you?
he was still here in Maine at the time. He was still living in the house. And
oh, hell yeah,
a couple
Richard.
of times he called.
Is it a base, Mr.
I'm
Bones?
assuming he probably had a snoot full.
I felt like I was counting more strings on it. I mean, it could be a 5-string, I guess. I just felt like I was counting more strings on it than it needed to be.
And he would call. And
God
not
damn.
that I care. I like to back a few myself on occasion. So, I don't care. But when you start calling people drunk and you start saying things, not a good idea. Especially when he called that particular night, and he was crying on the phone, as he always did.
Yeah.
Crying on the phone.
I'm so sorry. I feel terrible for what I did. I know I owe you money. I want to be friends. I'd like to invite you to dinner, but all I have is a can of peas.
Hell yeah, Mr. Bones.
I'm not making that up.
Pathetic.
That really happened.
Have a base over there.
Other people heard the message.
Oh, man.
Unfortunately, I don't have that message anymore.
No, why would you...
Other people heard.
It's an Austin. I didn't even know what type of base that is. I think it's an Austin. Mac and cheese.
This incident, given the popular
Oh, hell yeah, Mr. Bolts. I've seen some 6-string bases before. I just thought I was counting 5 strings for some reason.
title, The Mac and Cheese Incident, is our last story in this 3-pack collection. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video,
So strange of a
Lorne
rumor
praised
frost
and
map.
idolized his siblings to an unreasonable standard. This brings us to December of 2005, around Christmas time. One of Lorne's siblings needed work done on their house. Lorne used his A1 septic service business, the same company that he would use to scam Betty 2 years later, to help facilitate this construction.
Hell yeah, Dennis.
Unlike Betty's job, however, this one was actually completed, and Lorne calculated the price to be $700 total. Because Lorne is such a nice guy though, he tells his sibling that the construction job was a Christmas gift, and if they so choose to give him back a Christmas present, all he would ever want is some homemade macaroni and cheese. Around this time, Lorne would also cut the same deal for 2 other siblings. The second sibling's offer was exactly the same, $700 construction job that was completed and given as a Christmas gift. The only difference was that instead of macaroni and cheese as a suitable Christmas present, they were to make some homemade deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs!
The third sibling didn't need any jobs done,
Hell yeah.
but did need more heating oil. That totaled up to
$425.
And his Christmas gift back to Lorne was some homemade meatballs. Just so you know how crazy this
Homemade
sounds,
meatballs.
I'll explain it again. Lorne did work for 2 siblings and gave heating oil to one. The cost for the 2 jobs were $700 each, and the cost for the heating oil was
$425.
Instead of paying the money that all 3 siblings owed Lorne gave these things away as Christmas gifts. Then he said that if they wanted to give him Christmas gifts back, they could make him various food items. It was completely optional for his siblings to give him something back.
Oh my god.
And as you probably already have guessed, none of them chose to give a Christmas gift back to Lorne. Well, that's actually incorrect. Next Christmas in 2006, the first sibling did come through and give Lorne some homemade
Hell yeah,
macaroni and
Dennis.
cheese. The problem is that the sibling needed help paying for their child's Christmas gifts this year, and Lorne yet again cut them the same deal. $500 to help her pay for her children's gifts, given as a gift from him, and all he needed in return was some more homemade macaroni and cheese, which he never got. You may think that this is some stupid story, and it's insulting for this to be grouped together with the scamming of a married couple and the potential harm to 2 real children, but Lorne would strongly disagree with
Hell
me.
yeah, Frostman.
To him, this,
or as the Canadians call it, craft dinner. Could have given him a box of craft dinner and been done with it.
is an example of his state of mind at the time, an example of how mistreated he was, and an excuse for why he did what he did on October 18th, 2007.
No mac and cheese. So
All right,
funny.
This example is one of the things that had happened to me that made it so I couldn't. Well, that was part of why I couldn't think straight.
Why I couldn't
one of my
think straight.
siblings. Well, see, I idolized.
Hell yeah, lolcow.
Some of my siblings and some others also, and I never should have done that, and I certainly don't idolize them now. But this example is probably one of the most disgusting to me.
Hell yeah, it did.
One of my siblings needed some work done on the house, and so I had a septic business at the time, and I was making good money, and so I took my crew up to their house, up to my sibling's house, and did $700 worth of work on their house, and including paying the crew and all that. And I told them it was a Christmas present, and if they want to give me a Christmas present back, then they can give me, make me some macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and
There's
cheese.
Some homemade macaroni and cheese that they made. And I did the same for another sibling. Went up to their house.
God damn, Bertie.
Did $700 worth of work.
That was from those old ass commercials, weren't they? Oh yeah, his crew. Him and his crew.
Including paying for my crew and even using some of the materials that I had and all that. And I told them if they wanted to, same thing, that it was a Christmas present. If they want to give me a Christmas present back, they can make me some deviled eggs.
Yeah, Richard, exactly.
And
yes, seemingly odd.
Another sibling, I gave $425 to for heating oil, and told them that if they want to give me it was a Christmas present. If they want to give me a Christmas present back, they can make me some of their homemade meatballs.
Homemade meatballs.
And I never saw the meatballs. I never saw the deviled eggs, and I never saw the macaroni and cheese until the following year. My sibling came down with macaroni and cheese.
Mac and cheese treason.
Asked me to borrow $500 so they could get Christmas presents for the kids. So I gave them $500 so that way the kids could get Christmas presents. And I told her the same thing, just make me another thing of macaroni and cheese, and to this day I've never seen the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, he doesn't know what beef Wellington is. That's probably what it is, Richard.
So here we are now, 2007. Hopefully you kept track of where we are and how we got here, but just in case, here's a quick recap of everything so far. On October 18th, 1970, Lorne Armstrong was born in Maine. In 1989, he graduated high school. In 1991, Lorne joined the Air Force for 1 year and 7 months, and after leaving the military, he ends up living both in Washington State
Richard.
and in Maine.
That blue box
in 2000,
blues.
Lorne starts dating Amanda James. In 2001, Lorne opens his A1 septic service and construction business. In 2003, Lorne and Amanda James' relationship ends, lasting for about 2.5 years. In 2004, Lorne starts talking to both MySpace Girl number 1 and MySpace Girl number 2 simultaneously. In 2005, Lorne did all that Christmas work for his siblings. In 2006, Betty and Eric moved to Maine, and in late 2006, early 2007...
Okay, so he didn't steal the money and use the money from the elderly people to pay for his siblings' Christmas work or some shit. According to this timeline, he did it before he ripped them off.
Lorne scams Betty.
That's why he scammed them? He scammed them because his siblings scammed him out of the mac and cheese? Is that what he's trying to say?
Betty and Eric out of $30,500.
Hell yeah, Sacco.
I also feel like it's important to note that Lorne also got an OUI this year. On August 6, 2006, Lorne got charged with an OUI, or operating while under the influence. On that day, Lorne was trying to pick up his drunk brother as he was roaming the town. Lorne, who was also drunk, got in his truck and, according to the crash report, went off the road, hit a mailbox, hit the guide wires on a pole, drove onto someone else's yard, hit a ditch, which sent his car airborne, and crashed into the side of a house. Lorne was sentenced to 2 days in jail, and his license was suspended for 90 days.
Damn.
In early 2007, MySpace Girl number 2 visits Lorne, and they slowly stop talking from that point on. And finally, in the summer of 2007, he gets hounded by Betty to the point where he decides to skip town and go to Nashville, Tennessee to avoid his charges. Life has been one big roller coaster for Lorne. He's been through a lot as a child,
Hell yeah,
served in the
G-Ferg.
military, been in several relationships, all ending or being disasters. And now he's left all alone.
Probably Richard. Yeah, Amanda James probably was a dude. If his sister could like identify it so quickly. And he's slow to identify. He like listens to robots and shit. Thinks they're real people.
Alone in Nashville. What's Amanda do in this situation? Maybe a regular person would try to pay back some of that money they're owed by getting a job. But we aren't talking about a regular person. We're talking about Lorne Armstrong. And what he does next will be anything but regular. In the next part of the series, we'll discuss what went down in Nashville and discover the reason why October 18th, 2007 is such an infamous date for the lolcow.
Damn. Alright. So I didn't know much about any of that. Like the backstory. I didn't really know, I mean, I vaguely knew about the macaroni and cheese story, like he wanted some macaroni and cheese real bad, and people wouldn't give him the macaroni and cheese, but I didn't know that he like ripped off some old lady and shit. Damn. Lorne's a scumbag. And those like, talking to those girls or stalking them at the fair, I didn't know about that shit either. Fucking sicko. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hey, what's up, Shaggy Boy? But yeah, thanks everybody. Agent Alex, Shaggy Boy, Mr. Sacco, Dennis Perry, G-Ferg, Richard, Lolcow Cooking, Seemingly Odd, Lewis, Greedo the Green, Darkside Becky, Crossmath, Richard Roberts, Mr. Bones, Dink Diggler, Mingo, Tendies, Jonathan Rush, Russell Hall, Bomb Squad Breakdown, Dylan CD, Tortron, TT, Sloth Cat, George Lucas, Peter Griffin, Harry Penas, Penelope, AJ, John Zom, Jolly Mercenary, Dean, Bosco, Left Hand Black, Vapetoven, Brandon the Trash King, Code Man, Icy Bird, Cannabis NJ. Thanks everybody. And I guess special thanks to Lewis for resubscribing to the channel, or whatever that was. That was a strange one, like as soon as it started streaming, like that one popped up. Anyways, I'll try to find some more things to watch. I want to like try to like string together something about Madman Chris, because I don't always see like his stuff, the thing that I made, but there needs to be some sort of like strung together little documentary about him. I gotta like learn more shit about him. Anyways.